Welcome to all of you. Welcome to this last segment of D and F block elements. And generally the last segment of all the chapters happen to be the applications or uses of whatever we have studied in this entire chapter. So, this segment we will deal with the application of D block elements and F block elements where they are used in our day to day life or say in industries. So, let us check out all the possible applications that are there in this D block elements. So, the very first one now, iron and steel. Very easily we can analyze the uses of these parts, iron, steel compounds. In most construction materials nowadays this has been the major lot, and even with aluminum rods and all that are being used, iron and steel, where iron is a D block element, 3D element of atomic number 26, steel is an alloy of iron, where carbon content determines the aspect or the quality of steel. So, these become important in the construction industry. Many alloy of iron, say we have like brass, bronze and all this, they have a great importance in industries. Then we have titanium oxide, which is in pigment industry. Pigment industry is basically dealing with color variations of various materials. So, this titanium oxide can determine the coloration of the compounds. Come to the electrochemical parts, battery, dry cells and all, where you can use the nickel cadmium cell, manganese oxide which is there is used as one of the component in those cells. We have some noble metals like gold, silver, platinum, which we happen to see even in the introductory part, that these can be used for valuable ornaments. These are also called as noble metals as such. Also copper and nickel, these were making earlier, this was used earlier for making currency coins. Nowadays mostly it is about notes, or now we have gone to the digital world of mobile applications and all. So, yes, copper and nickel currency coins today might be of less importance, but all these earlier days all the coins which are there were generally made up of copper and nickel. A couple of pictures here how we use this steel as a heat resistant material. We can resist the heating systems that are been present, because whenever you use anything for heating, an important aspect of that is that it should heat inside, but outside it the heat should not be transmitted. If you remember how your mother cooks at your home, she uses a frying pan. The frying pan is hot, but if you can just analyze the place where she holds the frying pan, which is mainly the handle, that is not hot. Now, that is because that happens to be a bad conductor of heat and electricity, and therefore, you do not feel that heat. Misch metal, another important alloy of this mixture of lanthanoid and D block elements, which is used in various preparative reactions. We have some more examples here, pictorial examples of bullets, shells, lighter flints, where these are components made up of either D block elements, F block elements, or a combination of D and F block elements, where in bullets actually that Misch metal plays an important role. So, these together can form compounds of our general uses that are present. So, if these are all day to day uses that are present, we also know that there are large number of chemical reactions that happen in our industries or research systems, which determines what sort of a compound we are getting with various catalysts. So, what are those applications? Let us just see. Just tabulated some catalysts that are being used for various reactions. The very first catalyst is V2O5, which is vanadium oxide, used in the contact process, and this process I think you must have come across in your earlier classes, that contact process is used for preparation of sulfuric acid. Then titanium chloride in the preparation of polythene. This we see in the polymer parts that titanium chloride can be used as one of the catalysts. Iron in Haber's process. Haber's process is nothing but preparation of ammonia with nitrogen and hydrogen gas. Iron, the finely divided iron, so that you get a large surface area, is used for that. Palladium chloride in the Wacker process. Nickel in hydrogenation of oils. We also use nickel, platinum, palladium in the case of hydrogenation systems also, and nickel complexes in the polymerization of organic compounds. These nickel can help in polymerizing the organic compounds which are normally double bonded or triple bonded. And finally, silver bromide is used for the light sensitive films. And earlier, if you remember, in this camera we had this rolling system as such. So, they used to use rolls. So, there silver bromide was a very important component. Now maybe things have digitalized, but still this compound, though pretty much costly, is a very important aspect of this. So these are all the applications that we tend to see in these compounds, applications of this D block elements as such. So with this we can understand how important these are to our day-to-day life. So having seen these parts, let us go to the last homework of this chapter, which is there. Simple questions have been offered to you here. Define lanthanide contraction, something which you have studied in the D block. And once again we happen to come across in this F block systems. This happens to be a regular question from the Karnataka State Board examination system also. Some general questions I have put up here. Second and third question list out some important uses of D block, some important uses of F block elements. When we happen to discuss the application, we discussed it together, but now try to sort out which are those elements of D block which are of important use, which are those elements of F block which are of important uses. So this is all that we have for this entire chapter, which comprised of the starting study of the periodic table with respect to D and F block elements. We studied the D block separately. In that we gave a specific reference to 3D elements. Then we came to lanthanoids and actinoids, where we studied almost all the properties of this D block elements and F block elements, like atomic and ionic radii, ionization energy, and various other factors like electrode potential and all. And finally we have gone through the uses and applications. I hope that you have been able to follow this chapter very well, and see you soon to some other new chapter again. Thank you. Sai Ram.